can see, in quite a strange location. This is the church, a group which has quite recently started on the server. It is comprised of 6, I suppose you could call them, or I suppose they call themselves, council members, and this is their meeting room. As you can see me go around each chair of the large council table. Now, later on, in order to fully experience the ways of the church and the Raven, I was inducted into this organisation, I suppose we could call it, or group. They insist that they are not a cult, but I must admit the vibes of this organisation are slightly uncomfortable. Perhaps that's okay to say, but we will come back to the church later. I think you had a nice taster for now. We make our way to the first of our round tour, and for the next sort of 45 minutes, that's precisely what we will be doing. I will be teleporting to each of the players who are currently online, and seeing what they have built throughout their time on the server. I do apologise if I miss some of your builds. Typically, I will go onto the Discord and I will see if you guys have put coordinates there for me to tour or anything like that. And unless I have already set a teleport for myself to come and view, it's quite unlikely that I will find it, unless you have specified in the builds channel. But I found in the area where Beach set up a starter area with some beautiful cherry wood surroundings, several other members have also set up their bases, including Chiller, and later I would find out Miso was lost and Chiller was lost, are siblings, brother and sister. I was slightly confused as to why Miso had her home sent to somebody else's base, but now I understand. We have this lovely cow shed with a copper roof. We make our way, I believe, into Mostrix's area. I haven't seen Mostrix online for a little while, but I believe maybe quite busy with work at the moment, so it's nice to see some people drop in and out. It's not nice to see people drop out, but it's nice to see those who maybe have less time than they would like drop in from time to say hello. This is Mostrix's bee farm. I feel as though Beach, I believe Beach probably has another bee farm. I remember being told I forgot to tour it last time, and I had a little look around in the spectator mode to make sure it wasn't missing it. But I fear I may have missed it again. And we teleport out to Chiller specifically. We had just been to his starter base, and we found him on an ice mountain. So sometimes, if they're not at their base, and their base isn't immediately obvious, I'll use one of their home teleports. Everyone on ASMRcraft gets 4 default /home teleports. And so I tend to try and see if they've set any to a base or a very cool build of theirs. Most of the time people's homes are split, that they have 1 or 2 by their main builds, and then 1 or 2 at sort of like industrial type things. I saw this out the corner of my eye. Under Chiller's claim, so I assume that it is his. The start of an incredibly ambitious, what appears to be a castle wall, comprised of, I think, white concrete and deep slate. Interested to see how that turns out. Now we find Dave 9320 mining for ice as well. Teleport out to his base. A common theme for many has been underground builds, which is interesting. Lots of wannabe hobbits on the server this time around. It's a nice entrance, the descent into the earth, and some lovely decoration. Something I struggle with. Well, it's all types of building. You have Buzz and Bella there on the bed, but you have a lovely interior, and then the small designs to add a little bit of character are really cute and very nice. I like the use of campfires behind the furnaces to add a real sense of active work going on there. Nice storage area, and a decent portal room and enchantments. I loved this wall of potions by his potion stand. Very colourful, very inventive, and overall I was a big fan of this. Now, I've always been drawn to underground builds as well. I won't speak for Beach or for Dave, and the reason that I tend to go for an underground build like this as well is because I'm so god awful at producing a decent exterior build, and when you build underground that's sort of taken away from you, that responsibility. Shadowmere in the stables there with several other horses. Now, I tend to check out all of your pets and animals in case you have a name. Now, we reach Emma, who is, if I remember correctly, they were doing some mob farm bits and pieces. A skeleton farm, yeah, a skeleton farm that they'd made. So I won't stick around here for too long. quite funny at the time. But once again, I'm pretty sure that I reviewed probably at least a little bit of Emma's base last time. I think this little, again, another little Hobbit Hall edition at the bottom left of her area had been added, but this hut on top of the hill, I believe, was there. Initially, have a rudimentary storage system at the base of the base, or the underside of the base, and I was curious to see what this sort of guillotine thing was that Emma had installed. Unsure of the lore of that edition. I wonder if there had been some public executions organised at this base. Nothing that I was aware of. But when I made my way back, I was greeted again by Ethan involved in the church, so I let him get back to his devices, and I headed off to Ethan's main base, which I have to say, I don't like to pick favourites, but Ethan Wobbs's main base is probably my favourite location on the server. I've reviewed it before, and every time I come back here there are several new beautiful builds, either completed or in progress. You have these interesting sort of snail huts. That's the only way I can really describe them. Kind of goofy looking, but super whimsical and inventive and creative, in keeping with his style, which is just super fantastical. And I don't know, the way that I see his builds, whilst I don't necessarily think he has any sort of set lore of his land, it would be incredibly fitting, and I can almost sort of imagine the lore of his builds. It's like he's building to of course he's building to a specific theme, but it's almost like there are ancient stories associated with his builds, and I just want to know about them. Now we've stumbled appropriately into the Moonlight Theatre. One of my favourite things about Ethan's involvement on ASMRcraft is his development and continued creative input into, I say creative input is the entire driving force of it all behind creating theatrical performances and productions on the server. Most recently, Romeo and Juliet. If you go on the Discord, you will be able to find some people's recordings and streams of this performance, where I think 18 people attended, which is incredible. Absolutely incredible. Now, I would love to attend one of these performances myself. I really wished I could have. Disappointing that I was ultimately unable to attend, and I hope that I can attend the next one, which I've just seen only half an hour ago. That he's planning to do another performance, this time of Titanic. This build I'm just so excited to come and look at this. This base every time I get a chance to. I'll probably come down here maybe once a week, I would say, for a tour or for general interest. And there's always something new. As you can see from the outside, Moonlight Theatre with a red tape. The interior is just, it's amazing how he captures the essence of theatre. It's incredible. We head now to Haribo Cat, who's using an anti-AFK kind of thing. But I think we have an AFK timer anymore. And at the time of recording, I don't believe we did either. So, just if Haribo, if you're watching, you don't need to do one of those. You can just AFK freely. You won't be kicked, promise. But Haribo's built this beautiful, beautiful greenhouse type base. I assume this is their main base. It's absolutely stunning. Lovely glass exterior to it. Huge vaulted ceilings and roof. I never turn my nose up at the use of spruce. It is undeniably the best wood type. And with shaders, this looks absolutely fantastic. I think I might turn shaders off later in this recording. It is quite heavy on my PC, and so sometimes when I'm recording for a long period of time, it can start to struggle. Now, let me show you this. Hash browns are good. His base is such a vibe. I absolutely adore it. Hash browns are good. Has a nice base on top of a large mountain, a sort of wide set mountain. And I looked at the leaderboard and noticed that Hash browns are good. Has a fishing level of over 900, which is almost 3 times the person in second spot. And that's because they spend their whole time fishing. The lake that Hash Browns fishes on, as you can see, I said in chat, is such a vibe. Just a simple, well, not a simple house, it's a beautifully built house. But the simplicity of this lake on this huge mountain, nothing particularly special has been changed or added. This is a purely naturally spawning lake, almost a perfect circle with a sort of waterfall on the side, and a nice simple fishing deck has been added by him. Away. And had a look around his house. Yeah, it's lovely, it's well built, nice interior, beautiful exterior. But the fishing lake is something special, and I think it's something you really only get to see on ASMRcraft. I think it's fantastic. There's something so capturing and captivating about it, and I remember seeing Hash Browns fishing on there and seeing his huge level and thinking, I'd like to come down here and do some fishing as well. I had an idea to possibly make a video where I just sit there and ramble on while I fish at Hash Brown's Lake. I mean, surely we can set a warp there and do some fishing events. And we would have to call it Hash Brown's Lake, surely. Now we headed over to Ian, who I think shortly after teleporting to him had to log off, which was sort of good or bad timing, I suppose. Good timing in that Tudor-esque architecture. We next head over to Miso was Lost, which at this point when I'm recording I had absolutely no idea that she was the sister of Chilla was Lost. And, you know, ironically, even now, not even now, only now, should I say, have I made the connection between Miso was lost and Chilla was lost. Pretty embarrassing. But yeah, that's how blinkered I can be. So I don't know what maybe specifically she's built and specifically he's built, but possibly I'll get some clarification over the next few days. Possibly in the comment section, who knows? You know, it's stupid day. And this goes to show you guys, you know, never assume bad things, because I initially thought, oh, possibly she's like some random person who's joined and is trying to kind of like, you know, associate herself with a build that isn't hers. No idea why I thought that, but that was where my brain first went, rather than maybe they know each other, let alone a brother and sister. Anyway, headed over here to Morishide. Nice, very dark and gothic looking build. They've levelled out a huge mountain and got a nice little contrasting build there, which is made out of cherry wood. A few visitors have been here. It's obviously a place where they sorted out their bugs, and Morishide came to visit as well. But yeah, not much interior to that area, so we'll see how that develops. It looks very, very nice. Now, I say that Ethan Wobbs is my favourite location on the server, and that is true, but this could be in contention to take that top spot in my mind. Not that that is an aim for anyone. Purely something of personal preference. But I know how much effort and love and attention has been put into this area by Oblivion ASMR. If you've not checked him out, by the way, go to his channel, like and subscribe as soon as you can. It's an absolutely fantastic, fantastic channel. He's one of our admin, and this is his base. He has started, or I say started, he has been progressively working on this wonderful desert-based village, or I suppose slowly becoming a city. Each built with a slightly different accent on the walls and on the floors. They are absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. And I love the way that he builds them up, putting so much care and attention into the accenting and the delicate little additions to each one. They are fantastic. When this is all said and done, whatever that is, if that ever is a thing, possibly it's going to be a constant work in progress. This could be my favourite place on the server. It really reminds me of Al-Qarid in RuneScape. I'd recommend possibly going on Google and typing in Al-Qarid. It's a sort of desert-based city in the game, and just the style and, like I said, all of the specific little additions and the colour coding and all that very much reminds me of it. Lots of plots laid out for new builds, and it's definitely, you know, I think we've got 4 or 5 finished builds there. I think he told me he has 12 that he wants to build. Obviously has that huge tree farm thing in the background. It looks fantastic. to you. We headed off to Steely later, who at this point hadn't, but has now actually made a £10 donation. So I want to say thank you to Steely for their wonderful donation. I think we just teleported to Steely's base. I hope this is Steely's. I know this is. We went back to Spitch to sort out a safe location, and then back with Steely, we find them in a woodland mansion. A woodland mansion. We teleport out to their base, which is mostly just a starter area. They're smelting up some goods. Take a quick drink. And then we head to Cycle. I think a teenage pensioner and possibly Lycan, I think, or Viper have set up Guardian Farms, but good lord, was this amazing. I loved the scenic nature of Cycle's base set home, overlooking an absolutely incredible Guardian farm that's been completely hollowed out and drained of water, and then some farms underneath with a nice big stone staircase. It's absolutely incredible. It's awe-inducing, put it that way, awe-inducing. Huge glass circular exterior with the Guardian farm smack bang in the middle. Now presumably the Cycle will be making a Guardian farm from this, but I expect it's going to be the centre for his base as well, so I'm excited to see how that goes. I next teleported to Adam, and I found this base area for several people. This is actually Anime Torso's. Yeah, very interesting name, but Anime Torso's build, and then it overlooks Jake's. It's called like his wandering tour or something like that. It should pop up a relaxing retreat. Wandering tour. I don't know where that came from. I think it's because there's a walk that you can go along. We reviewed this in depth last time, but we are finally permitted to go inside and look at the interior. It's a beautiful house, surrounded by a sort of dark woodland. This build is by, it says it on the signs, Spitch's main base. So I'm pretty sure I set a home here now that I know that Spitch is also based in this location. And I think we turn around and we do a bit of an in-depth tour of Jake's area. I was very interested by this huge tree, which you can see at the top is still being built. I think the wonderful technical abilities of pre-crafted, he's giving them some sort of effect around the tree, which I don't know the lore to it, but I'm pretty sure there is some nice lore, and I do love lore. There is something kind of magical or whatever about this tree. I'd love for them to let me know, maybe in the comment section, what the story is behind all of this. This magical tree with a sort of simulated blue fiery ring that sort of spirals up the centre of it, or the outside of it even. This is a vacation house, Spitch's house of perms. I mean, maybe it's been built by somebody else, I'm not too sure. I can't remember who it was in a previous season. Either it's Jake or Ethan Wobbs. was Jake, built an area where he sold or gave houses away to people, and it was like a big village. It was designed quite like this. That's why I think it was Jake. Apologies if it was somebody else. Correct me again in the comment section if you wish. If I'm wrong, please do. But yeah. Beautiful village. And I think maybe season 3, or might have been season 2. Yeah, I inquired in chat about the tree. I think I spend the next sort of 4 or 5 minutes going down into the trail and trying to experience at ground level the walk from sort of vacation house past the tree, and then ultimately you end up at a kind of I guess you could call it like a monument of sorts. And like a kind of shrine, actually. But I teleported to Ethan so that he could show me this trail. Now, I'm in spectator mode, so I can see all the armor stands, which I don't know how they work, but whatever kind of command blocks and effects Pre-crafted has set up for these fine gentlemen, it utilises sort of invisible armor stands, but apparently it's meant to be a spiraling sort of whirl of sort of whirligig of fire, of blue fire, I think is what he said. But we can't see it. I did go into creative mode, but I still wasn't quite able to see, unfortunately. But that's okay. There's no trouble. I even turned off shaders, but still no dice. But like I said, that is no trouble. We will hopefully at some point get to see what that's meant to look like. It might be because command blocks are turned off at the moment, and actually they're probably going to be turned off in future forever, really. Reason being that they cause a lot of lag. So whilst it's good fun to have these things, we're going to have to think of a bit of a solution. But from a purely tour perspective, this is just a fantastic area. I love the vibe of these walks. They are some of my favourite little additions to Minecraft. I'd say probably my favourite thing to do, and maybe my only real thing I'm probably quite good at in terms of building on Minecraft is environmental stuff like this. Building little kind of forests with nice pathing and little kind of additions that make it quite whimsical. That's really all I can do. I'm not a builder of houses or castles or anything like that. But yeah, this is very sort of inspiring to look at. Or inspiring, I mean. Sat at the base of a huge ice mountain, we found a lovely biome location to build this. But I'm gonna have to ask what this tree is all about. Clearly adventure with lore, which is something I've always wanted to bring to ASMRcraft somehow. We did attempt it in the last season with the questing, but we were just a bit too ambitious. But we can discuss that in another video maybe. Headed out to Adil, who has his Bedrock alt account with him. I think probably doing AFK or something. I'm actually not sure what our stance is that in terms of the rules. I think previously we said no alts, but I think this season maybe we can. I think we can probably allow it for sake of the power of the server and all that. We went out to check Dragon Corn. I believe that Dragon still is just in a sort of simple area. Going to all of my various homes now that I've said before. ASMRmedic, one again of my favourite locations. I'm incredibly impressed by these singular or sort of one or two mega builds. They look absolutely incredible. Oh my god, I've just realised I forgot to tour Harvey's mega base. That's my mistake. I'll give myself an excuse because I think he's gone on holiday, so he's not been on the server for a few days. It's completely gone from my mind. I have to do that soon, but I probably prefer bases that have all of these different locations like ASMRmedic here. I'm a real sucker for a map and for a bit of a story, as you've probably told. You can probably tell from the majority of this tour, but a really cool looking map and a wonderful, wonderful set of builds and build style using bamboo blocks in the context of the jungle. But as Mary suggests, taking a drink and exploring. It's a potion of swiftness, I think. We start out on the deck, and as Mary has been doing plenty of fishing there as well. I remember I teleported a couple of times to Mary, and every time they were fishing on the pier, looking super relaxed. So I really thought that was really cool. I'm gonna have to pause the recording just for a moment so that I can plug in my laptop. But we take the advice, we're on a swift potion, and we're able to explore ASMRmedic's wonderful, wonderful village, I suppose you could call it, on foot at ground level, even in survival mode, to make it even more, I guess, true to the standard experience of most players. But we make our way through, and I'm actually fairly disappointed that we didn't spend a bit more time here. I think I was in a little bit of a rush at this point, but we went and saw technically everything there was to see. But just watching back at this vintage, I'm noticing we're sort of skimming through things, but there were really some lovely builds there, like a very nice bee farm and other little areas which I think would have been nice to put a bit more attention to, so I do apologise, ASMRmedic. I'm not sure why I was in a rush at this point. We're only about 3/4 of an hour in. We teleport out to Ghosty Boy, who is a fairly new member of the community, joined maybe about a week or so ago. They've got a simple little base set up here with some nice money making areas, some little farms and everything to make one's first bit of money, which I think is quite nice. It's always cool to see people engaging in the economy, and different, if any, really. Oh, yeah. I really feel like it's slipped my mind here because I actually did teleported out to Harvey's previous base, and it clearly just didn't occur to me to go to his mega base. It didn't even register in my brain, if I'm honest. I think I was so concerned with I wanted to record for about an hour. That was my aim. And after about 3/4 of an hour, I think I might have been getting a little bit fatigued. But as you'll see, I even regret it even more now because we actually ended up spending a good 1/4 of an hour messing around with the I'm about to say the cult, but it's not a cult, the church. Anyway, we teleported out to Chris MC, who's been very, very active member of the community for the past couple of weeks. I don't think I've recognised Chris MC, so it might be his first season. Do correct me if I'm wrong there. I'm not entirely sure I remember Chris MC's username from before. Briefly went to Zipro. This is a farm that Zipro built right at the start of the season. I don't think I've seen them online recently. I'll try to remove people's homes if they've not been on in a while, just because I don't want to keep going over the same things. So many new things to see. I turned the shaders back on for this because of just how much I adore GoPro's location. It is the most beautiful and most incredible landscape that I think I've ever seen in Minecraft. Absolutely beautiful icy mountain in the background, which itself is sort of perched on top of a gorge. So you have a sort of small strip of land where GoPro has built his home and everything, and then this huge valley. It's just truly beautiful. I think not Little Beast is our last stop on the tour, and we've been here before. There's a few people who are based here, like Naliu, and I can't remember Naliu and not Little Beast at least. I mean, there are not Little Beast at least. Ivanborough joined in this recording. He's been playing a fair amount. We'll go check out his base in the next door. But yeah, there's about maybe 4 or 5 people based here. I'm not sure who they are, but I think if you've got a group base, it could be quite helpful to have maybe a list of members. But anyway, thank you for watching the tour. You guys can leave now if you don't want to see anything about the church. But I was told that they would be performing a mass. You might be thinking, what the hell does that mean? But you just read through yourself as I sort of ramble through. They spoke about the sacrificial mass, which I was very intrigued about. I read about it on the Discord, in the Discord to server chat, and I thought, well, I'm going to have to log back on and record this because it is just too interesting to miss out on. So in order to actually observe the mass, understandably, I had to join the church, and I thought, well, it's been a long time coming, so I will join. I joined the group, and I was allowed into the council chambers, I suppose. And it's only at this point that I realised they were all wearing the same bloody clothes. They've all got this set of black robes with a sort of white undershirt and a purple scarf with white crosses on either shoulder, or sort of either breast, I suppose. I was in invited to the Raven party, which I duly accepted, of course. This entire situation is just mad. It's absolutely insane. I think it's really fun, but it's totally bonkers. I'll try to name everyone: Peach, Animate Torsos, Morrishide, Ethan Wubbs, Adam, and I think, are we missing one other member? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's somebody who's not there. I'm not sure who it is. I think maybe they join us later. But anyway, I was told about a mass which I really wanted to attend, so we'll slowly make our way through that, and you guys can observe probably, I would imagine, one of the strangest things you will ever see in Minecraft. I came around to find 4 of them sat on this comfortable looking red carpet, little bench propped up against a beacon. I asked for permission to sit down, which they said yes, of course, make yourself comfortable. And in front of me, I was shocked to see there was this grand altar with Ethan Wubbs, who I had previously just been talking up for his wonderful performances and productions. This time was now the Grand Priest of one of the strangest and most, I guess, highly criticised on the server, in some respects, organisations. Today we will be showing our strength, buckling guys, and power. That is X Adam X 1, 2, 3, 4 laying down on the altar in front of Ethan Wubbs and the onlooking audience. Regal attire. But first we must give. In order to show strength, they must give. To feed the raven. And we'd seen the raven previously, so we can tend to its egg. And that is something that really concerns me. And grow this family. I very much would like to know where the egg is and what will hatch from the egg. Adam, I release you from this world. Wow. Adam was slain using the 1995 Honda Civic. And I stood up and I observed the core, which is, I guess, the sort of mantra and chanting of this organisation, this church. At this point I was feeling very, very uncomfortable didn't look like Adam anymore. When I came back, he looked like pre-crafted. That is the skin of pre-crafted, one of our admin, and I suppose one of the naysayers. I learned one of the naysayers of the church, and ultimately